Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping by IDub Hockey. My name's Tyson. I'm joined here with Mike Mountain, stick product line manager here at Easton Hockey, and we're actually at the Easton headquarters. And Mike's going to be giving us a little bit of insight on the EQ stick line. So you have here the EQ50. Why don't you kind of give us the overall philosophy of the stick and what features you added to it to achieve that?
Sure. When we're developing the EQ line, really what we wanted to create was better puck control. As we looked at some of the composite sticks over the years, the blades are incredibly lively and they're great for shooting, but maybe not so much for stick handling and pass catching. And so we wanted to bring that aspect into the stick technology. And we did that through a blade technology using a weight system. And so when we were developing this stick, first we reduced the weight of the blade by 15 grams, so we made it lighter. And then we used those 15 grams and redistributed them in the impact area of the blade, where the player is going to be shooting from and where they're going to be catching a lot of passes. And by redistributing this weight in this area, it settles down the puck reaction, so that when you're catching a hard pass, it tends to stay on your blade and settle down as opposed to bouncing out in front of you where you lose control or you have to try to regain the puck. So the focus weight technology creates much better puck control, and then the stick itself still has great pop when you're shooting. So you still get that great performance of the Synergy stick, but again, much better puck control. And the other aspect that we're always concentrating on is great stick balance. And with the SE16, we had a technology inside the shaft, the weight system, which created good balance, but it wasn't versatile after you cut the stick or tape the stick. It really changed the balance point. And so what we wanted to do was introduce a customizable feature with regards to balance. And so we introduced our weighted end cap, and it has 4 5-gram weights inside the end cap itself, which equal the amount of weight that we had in the shaft previously. And so the reason why this is so great for a player is when they cut the stick and they tape it, then they can take the end cap and reinsert it back into the shaft and correct the balance point. And it's customizable, so you can put all the weights in there to create a really blade-light feel. You can leave them out to create more of a blade-heavy feel, or you can just adjust it to your preference.
Yeah, I mean, back to kind of the responsiveness of the stick, I was fortunate enough to play around with one of the EQ50s, and one of the things I really liked about it is it still had that responsiveness, like you were saying, of a one-piece, but it didn't have kind of that overly responsive or that overly kind of teeny feel to it.
Right.
It had just a really nice, solid feel.
Yep.
Now I understand one of the things Easton is known for on their sticks is the Kevlar wrap on it. So the EQ50, that still has that complete Kevlar wrap?
Exactly. It still has the Kevlar wrap along the shaft, and again, it lends to vibration dampening. It's a woven material. So as the puck comes in contact with the blade and those vibrations travel up the shaft, that woven material really dampens that and gives you an improved feel. And then as we all know, Kevlar is an incredibly protective material, and so it protects all those carbon layers underneath from impacts, slashes, and anything else that can happen during the course of a game to keep the stick durable and intact.
Right, and then I mean also, so the EQ series is kind of the evolution of the SE6 or the SE line. And I mean the SE16 was a really popular stick, so I mean a lot of people were following that. For those players that were in that stick, can they expect the same great feel out of this stick as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, one of the things, the biggest difference between the SE16 and the EQ50 is the visible technology. And by bringing the technology to the outside of the blade, we actually didn't have any more constraints regarding the construction on the inside, meaning we could place the weight wherever we wanted to, and it allowed us to move it lower on the blade where you really come in contact with the puck. So in a way, we improved the feel by relocating that weight.
Right. So I mean, we've kind of been talking a little bit more geared towards the 50 in particular. What would you say some of the biggest differences are between the 50 and what you have here with like the EQ40?
Well, we wanted to bring this technology, the weight system, throughout the line. And one of the ways we did that on the EQ40 was we went from 15 grams in the EQ50 to 10 grams in the EQ40. So we reduced the weight of the blade by 10 grams and then reinserted a 10-gram weight. So you don't get quite the same feel that you would on the EQ50, but a lot of the materials that we use on the EQ40 also lend towards a better feel. So as the system working as a whole, it really does create a nice feel when you're catching the puck.
Yeah, and I mean also another nice thing I think is even though it's less weight being applied to the blade, you still have that same great balance because it's a little bit of a different shaft, correct?
Exactly. So the shaft has a different process. It's a pressure molded process, which means the pressure's on the inside, and it just creates a different feel on the outside. So it's smooth, but we create the same geometry on the outside so that you get a real good contour and feel for the shaft.
Great. And then I mean also kind of going back to the Kevlar wrap. So I have here now the 30.
Yep.
You're still bringing in some of the properties of the Kevlar into these sticks, correct?
Exactly. So on the EQ50, we talked about the woven Kevlar that we've used on our performance sticks, and we really wanted to introduce that material throughout the line. So on the 40 and the 30, what you'll find is a hybrid Kevlar. And that allows us to use this material with this process, whereas the woven material can't be used in this type of shaft because of the way that you have to finish the shaft. But this hybrid material still brings that great feel and protection to the lower price points.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also, you know, a unique thing that you guys are bringing to the sticks is having that Kevlar at this level, correct?
Exactly, and you can see it. We've got a translucent paint on both the 40 and the 30, which allows you to see the technology. And I always think that helps players when they're trying to select a stick to be able to understand exactly what's going on the inside.
All right, so that was just a quick look at the Easton EQ stick line. Once again, this is Mike Mountain, and my name's Tyson, and all the Easton EQ sticks are available at inlineIcewarehouse.com.